iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. I am going to go a little crazy today and do a two-a-day. I'm going to give you a couple of previews because I fell behind in my previews. I know I've been doing so much work trying to pump out articles and draft reviews and high-lows and ADPs that I mistimed my previews. So today I'm going to give you Pittsburgh and Seattle. I'll get you San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Tennessee, and Washington as well. I also want to cover a friend of mine, a Scout subscriber, asked if I would cover something about free agency, and I will do that tomorrow, considering, hey, there's not a lot to talk about with the San Francisco 49ers, but I will absolutely and unequivocally get to that. So let's do a quick two-a-day. Well, maybe. Is there any news that I need you guys to know? I'm just trying to see what you have to hear. Looks like Rashad Perriman and Joe Flacco will be back for game one. So I really wasn't worried about that. I thought that was going to happen. Looks like Jordan Matthews should be there week one, but I'm not so sure about Tyrod Taylor. Let's keep our eyeballs on that one. Look, I told you what I think about Tyrod Taylor. I think the Bills want him way gone. So be on the lookout for that. I think Tyrod Taylor's days are absolutely numbered as a starting quarterback in Buffalo. Blake Bortles supposedly looks better. Well, when you look like puke, I mean, I guess crap is better than puke. I mean, what are we talking about here? This guy stinks. I wouldn't draft him in a 40-round league. I'd rather take Chad Henne. So don't get yourself so excited when you see Doug Marrone goes, Blake Bortles looks better. How about Blake Bortles couldn't look worse? There you go. That's my byline for you. All right, I'm going to do a two-a-day today. Pittsburgh and Seattle, a couple of very good teams. Let's start it off with Big Ben Roethlisberger. Now, you guys know the deal about Ben, right? Everybody knows it. At home, Ben awesome. On the road, Ben sucks. Is there something to that? Maybe. I mean, yeah, it's. I look at the numbers, it's true. But I don't know. I don't think that Ben just becomes a crap player for 8 weeks. I just don't see that. I see that he was frustrated last year. If you had Sammy Coates catching a football, you'd be frustrated too. If you had Darius Hayward-Bay out there, you'd be frustrated too. If you had Ladarius Green signed and he never played, you'd be frustrated too. I mean, and other teams do play better at home. So I'm not ready to bury Ben Roethlisberger this year. I'm okay with him. I may just play him 8 times. I may play him 10. I don't know, but I think that Martavis Bryant makes him better because it's a speed threat. So I'm all right with Ben Roethlisberger this year. I'm always all right with Le'Veon Bell. What's not to like about Le'Veon Bell? Guy's a star of epic proportions. I am thinking that it's a problem. It is a slight problem when guys hold out. And he's going to report on September 1st. Could this be an issue? Maybe. Am I willing to look past it for Bell? Yes. If I'm him, I don't want to go to preseason either. Trust me. I'm thinking, who can I visit? My aunt is sick. I got a doctor's appointment. I got a cuticle that's out. I mean, I'm looking all over the place. I don't want to be in camp. I know how to run the football. I'm Le'Veon Bell. I get it. I'm still drafting James Conner, though. I'm still drafting James Conner if I have Bell. Because I think he's the handcuff. It's not Nal Davis, it's not Terrell Watson, it's not Fitzgerald Toussaint. Great name, by the way, Fitzgerald Toussaint. But I'm all in on James Conner as the backup. He's too good, okay? At receiver, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you to take Antonio Brown in a PPR format. I actually saw him go number 1, which shocked the crap out of me because I don't think he's that good. But I saw it, I believe it. I mean, I'm taking David Johnson or Bell first, but I'll take Brown third. No problem with that in a PPR. Write me down for Brown. Why is Martavis Bryant such a help to Brown? So last year, when you've got Sammy Coates and Hayward Bay, other teams are double covering Antonio Brown. Why wouldn't you? But with Martavis Bryant, you can't do that because he's the deep threat. You can't do that. So I think Bryant's appearance on the field makes Brown better. Bryant makes Brown better. I know people don't understand that, but Dr. Roto, he takes away targets. Maybe he does. But it also means he has less coverage on him. Seriously. Antonio Brown's out there. He's getting the best cover guy and the safety's rolling over. No doubt. Now Bryant's there, you can't do that. And don't forget a guy named Eli Rogers. Eli Rogers was very effective when he played. Right? There were some games 6, 4, 4, 2, 5. I mean, he's okay. So they need a full complement of receivers for Ben. I don't blame Ben for struggling. I blame the fact that his team wasn't great. Really, it wasn't great. Now, I love Martavis Bryant. I do. I need to express the love I have for this guy. I mean, in 2014, he had 8 touchdowns on 26 receptions. That's unheard of. He had 6 touchdowns on 50 receptions in 2015. This guy's got speed, and more speed. Now, he is a knucklehead of epic proportions. He makes Plexico bursts seem normal, which ain't easy. But Ben knows he needs him. They can lose Marcus Wheaton. Bye-bye, Marcus. You can't lose Martavis Bryant. Martavis Bryant is a weapon. He doesn't have the greatest hands I've ever seen. That's true. But his hands are good enough. They're better than Sammy Coates. I'm intrigued by Juju SmithSchuster. I think this guy could be very interesting. But he's 20. All right? He's 20 years old. I like this guy as a third receiver in a dynasty format. But I like Brown. I love Brown. I love Bryant. Okay? I do. I'll give you another guy who I think is so under the radar, it's unreal. Messy Jesse James. Messy Jesse James, under the radar. Now look, I'm going to just read you something here. 7.542.832.4441.43153. Those are his targets. So he's getting 3 or 4 targets a game. The beautiful thing about Ben Roethlisberger, as we know him in fantasy, is Ben goes to his tight end. Always has. Heath Miller was a weapon. Jesse James this year is young. He's a young guy. He's learning the position. He's getting Ben's respect. And there's no Ladarius Green. Who's to say that this guy can't have 50 receptions? Now, everybody and their grandmother's loving Austin Hooper. I love Austin Hooper. Why can't Jesse James be Austin Hooper this year, catching 50 catches for 600 yards? I think he can. Now, he's not a star, but you're in round 19 and you waited on tight ends. I think you could do worse. Not much worse, mind you, but you could do worse. So I'm just throwing that out there for you. Okay? So to recap on the Steelers, I like Ben more than most people do this year. I think if I had to rank Ben, I thought other people were ranking Ben. I think Ben is probably a top 10 quarterback, but maybe lower. So Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, Wilson, Mariota, Ryan, Cousins, Winston, Carr, right? And then you got Cam, and you got Stafford, and you got Rivers, and you got Ben. Ben's somewhere in the 10, 11, 12 range. I'm okay with that. You know what? Give me Ben Roethlisberger late in my draft. I think I can live with that. Because when he's good, he's really good. Right? When he's good, he's sensational. Lev Bell's a star. I like Connor. Brown, Bryant, I'm in. Messy, Jesse James. Very, 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 very late in your draft. All right. 2 a day. Not 1, but 2 previews. Seattle, Seahawks. I just remember a few years ago I was calling them the Sea Chickens. That's not fair. That's not fair to Seattle. They're so much better than that. I love Pete Carroll. Seriously, Pete Carroll's my kind of guy. Russell Wilson is a star. So let me just share this with you. I never believed that Russell Wilson was healthy last year. I really didn't. And a Wilson who wasn't healthy still threw for 4,200 yards and 21 touchdowns. But I think he suffered last year because he wasn't healthy. I think you see a healthy Russell Wilson this year, which puts him in the top 5, 6 quarterbacks available. I do. So you're in round 9, you're in round 8, you want to take Russell Wilson, you have my blessing. 7, I don't want to do it, but I can see it. I don't want to do it, but I can see it. But I like Russell Wilson very much. Okay? It's the running back situation that I have a problem with in Seattle. 4 guys. Right? 4 guys. First, see, I'm sneezing to the truth. My mom always says that. You sneeze to the truth. What does that mean, Mom? I have no idea. But Thomas Rawls used to be their number 1 guy. Now, he was pretty darn good a couple of years ago before he injured his leg. And it was a horrible injury. But he's young and he's strong and he runs really hard. So I was a big Thomas Rawls fan. But now with the injury, I'm kind of off the Thomas Rawls train. I mean, I like him and I'll put him on my team, but do I think he's going to catch a lot of passes? No. I like him way more in a standard league or a half-point PPR than I do in our Scout Play FFWC formats. Not taking him there. Just not. Would I take Fat Eddie Lacy? Nah, I'm trying to think about it. And I had a chance in previous drafts to take Lacy. There's just never a good time that I say to myself, you know, Eddie Lacy makes sense to me. Right? I never see it. So I'm trying to look at Eddie Lacy's ADP. It's 119. His high is 78. His low is 140. I'll take him in round 11, but 78 is like cray-cray. I'm not taking this dude in round 6. I don't even know where he fits in. That makes no sense to me. I can't touch them there. Can't touch him there. I don't fault the Seahawks for bringing Lacy over. If Rawls is not healthy, Green Bay was done with him. There was upside there. This was a very good player. I mean, this is a guy in the NFL who ran for over 1,100 yards twice and has good receiving hands. There is potential there. But, or as Jamie Foxx would say on Beat Shazam, however, and yes, I do like that show. It's like Name That Tune. You gotta want to be great. And when you go to Golden Corral and eat half the buffet and think you're just going to waltz through practice, you don't want to be great. And that's my opinion on Eddie Lacy. I don't think you let yourself go like that wanting to be great. It's a problem. Chris Carson looks terrific, by the way. How good does this guy look in preseason? Now, I don't know if there's a job for him or not. I don't know. But I know he's looked terrific. And he was okay in college. Not special. He was okay. If he doesn't make this team, he's going to make the practice team. And I tell you something, some team's going to pick him up on waivers. So I think he may have to make Seattle. He's interesting to me. My favorite guy there is CJ Procise. He's my favorite guy because I know his role. He is the PPR guy. That's his role. I wake up this morning. What is Thomas Rawls' role? I guess first down back. I don't know. There's Eddie Lacy. What's Eddie Lacy's role? I don't know. Team chef? I don't know. What's Chris Carson's role? Does he have a role? CJ Procise? PPR guy. I know his role. So I like clearly defined roles because when it's clearly defined, I know what to expect. If I can predict it, I can pick it. So I do like CJ Procise. I know he's dealing with a groin issue. I get that. I'm okay. He'll be fine. I'm going to take him in some leagues, I promise you. Doug Baldwin is just perhaps the most underappreciated guy in fantasy football. So 2 years ago, he had 78 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. And my friend Mark Deming, who's a huge Seattle Seahawks guy, basically says, I don't like Baldwin. Now, Deming is funny, and so is Ian, because they never take Seahawks because they love their Seahawks, and they never want to take them. But you know what? I still took Baldwin last year, and I was right. 94 receptions, 1,128 yards, 7 touchdowns. Touchdowns weren't great, but he does produce every week. High-stakes people are taking him this year in the second round. I have no problem with that. You have my blessing. Go take him. Big fan. Tyler Lockett is what I call stash and cash. He's got issues. Okay? Got issues with his leg. Not 100%. But I'm willing to take Tyler Lockett, stick him on my bench, and play him week 10. Because I don't think we're seeing him much sooner than that. And if we do see him sooner than that, I don't think he's going to be very good. But I do think there's a spot for him this year. So we like to call that at Scout stash and cash. Stash him away, cash later in the year when he's there. Because let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you a story now that I may have told before. I was in another league format a bunch of years ago. And I tell you that my partner and I were literally the second to last team to make the playoffs. We were 243rd overall out of like 244, 245 teams. I kid you not. We came in 6th overall because we had the best 3 games that you could have. And we went from 243 to 6th. Made a whole lot of money that year. What does that tell you? It tells you the following. You just got to get to the 3 games and then hit those right 3 games and you're a winner. Tyler Lockett may do nothing for you. He may do nothing for you weeks 1 through 8, but weeks 14, 15, 16, you might need him. He might be there. Keep your eye on him. I like Paul Richardson too. This is a guy who can't stay on the field. Please let him play. And when he plays, he barely does anything. But he's got potential. I always love me some Paul Richardson in DFS, playoff DFS because he's very cheap and he does something in the playoffs. He produces. I think he gets a big chance this year with Lockett gone. And if he shows he's real deal, Russell Wilson will go to him. If Russell Wilson will go to him, I'll pick him. I'm good with that. I like Paul Richardson. I like him in rounds 14, 15, 16. He's sneaky. How about Jimmy Graham? Worried about the shoulder? Not me. Jimmy Graham had a comeback year last year. 65 catches, 923 yards, 6 touchdowns. Revitalized his career, and he did that with Wilson not at 100%. So I'm in on Jimmy Graham. I just took him in the 7th round of a draft recently. He's an active, good tight end. Like him very much. He is the second option in this offense after Dougie Baldwin. I'll throw out Blair Walsh too. I think a lot of people forget that Blair Walsh was in Minnesota, but now he's in Seattle. He's got a big leg, dudes. Big leg. Back in 2012, he was 10 for 10 for 50 yards. So this guy can bang it. I'm just throwing it out there. I like him a little bit. Seattle's going to score. Blair Walsh, super sneaky, last pick in the draft. Just throwing it out there for you. You know what else I'm throwing out there for you? I'm throwing out the fact that I've got a bunch of drafts this week on playffwc.com. Let's see, Thursday night Dr. Roto draft. We got to fill that. Come on. Come on, guys. And then Saturday and Sunday, I've got 6 left on Saturday in a spot. And Sunday, how many do I have? It's a late one Sunday. One moment, please. Please hold. Please continue to hold. Oh, the Sunday has 6 left. And the Saturday has 7. So let's get into those draft, guys. Come on. If you get into the draft, I'll talk about your team on the podcast, maybe on the radio. Who knows? Maybe to the team who's the best drafter, I'll get you a spot on the radio. How about that? But I also want to get you a spot with Scout Fantasy. So go to scoutfantasy.com, enter the promo code ROTO2017, be part of the Scout Army, and be a winner. All right, guys, time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Back with more two-a-days tomorrow. Wrap this up. Next week predictions. Oh my God, I got so much going on. I can't believe it. Wishing you guys a great day. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!